Evening, kiddos! By now, many of you should be back or about to go back to school. In light of this, I thought that now would be an appropriate time to read to you all one of my favorite, and one of the most educational poems. This is done by none other than Rudyard Kipling, who I previously featured with his poem, Tommy. Now, I'm going to briefly explain two very important concepts before we proceed. Traditionally in Britain, school children would practice their writing and penmanship by writing and rewriting various proverbs, advice, and sayings, such as, "A stitch is tied saves 9, or the early bird gets the worm." In the process of reading and copying these important life lessons, the children would memorize them and hopefully make use of them in their daily lives. These are called copybook headings, and they are the subject of our poem today. In opposition to the timeless wisdom of the copybook headings is a transient and often fallacious marketplace. Much like the department stores of today, the markets of Kipling's time served not only as a place for merchants and vendors to sell their wares and services, honestly or otherwise, it's also a place where people congregate to discuss the events of the day, current affairs, and the latest in fashion and gossip. These markets serve to reflect the beliefs, popular opinions, and attitudes of the masses that go there to trade or socialize. Since that time, the physical marketplace has shifted more and more into cyberspace. But the function of the modern digital marketplace still remains the same, allowing people to communicate, buy and sell, and distribute ideas regardless of whether the people, the products or services, or the ideas are good or bad. With these two important concepts in mind, let's proceed and learn what they have to offer in The Gods of the Copybook Headings. As I passed through my incarnations in every age and race, I made my proper prostrations to the gods of the marketplace. Peering through reverent fingers, I watched the flourish and fall, and the gods of the copybook headings, I noticed, outlast them all. We were living in trees when they met us. They showed us each in turn that water would certainly wet us, as fire would certainly burn. But we found them lacking uplift, vision, and breath of mind. So we left them to teach the gorillas while we followed the march of mankind. We moved as the spirit listed. They never altered their pace, being neither cloud nor windborne, like the gods of the marketplace. But they always caught up our progress, and presently word would come that a tribe had been wiped off this ice field, or the lights had gone out in Rome. With the hopes our world is built on, they were utterly out of touch. They denied that the moon was tilted. They denied she was even Dutch. They denied that fishes were horses. They denied that a pig had wings. So we worship the gods of the market who promise these beautiful things. When the Cambrian measures were forming, they promised perpetual peace. They swore if we gave them our weapons, then the wars of the tribes would cease. But when we disarmed, they sold us and delivered us bound to our foe. And the gods of the copybook headings said, stick to the devil you know. On the first communion of sandstones, we were promised the fuller life. We started by loving our neighbor and ended by loving his wife, till a woman had no more children and the men lost reason and faith. And the gods of the copybook headings said, the wages of sin is death. In the Carboniferous epoch, we were promised abundance for all by robbing selected Peter to pay for collected Paul. But though we had plenty of money, there was nothing our money could buy. And the gods of copybook headings said, if you don't work, you die. Then the gods of the market tumbled, and their smooth-tongued wizards withdrew, and the hearts of the meanest were humbled, and began to believe it was true, that all is not gold that glitters, and 2 and 2 make 4, and the gods of the copybook headings limped up to explain it once more. As it will be in the future, it was at the birth of man. There are only 4 things certain since social progress began. That the dog returns to his vomit, and the soul returns to her mire, and the burnt foal's bandaged finger goes wobbling back to the fire. And that after this is accomplished, and the brave new world begins, when all men are paid for existing, and no man must pay for his sins, as surely as water will wet us, as surely as fire will burn, the gods of the copybook headings, with terror and slaughter, return. Throughout history and in our cultures, we humans have been on a quest for truth. Humanity seeks truths to use it to secure and better their lives. The truths that govern our lives range from simple truths that allow our ancestors to survive, such as big cat with big teeth make big ouchie, to the truths that enable us to make that one giant leap for mankind on the lunar surface. But sometimes in this eternal quest, we stumble. People become enamored with ineffective theories, untrustworthy figures, and vicious ideas. The effect of these mistakes is littered throughout history, and the consequences are as terrifying as they are tragic. Wisdom is truth that has been passed from generations to generation that has remained unchanging. It remains as true for cavemen as they are for astronauts. These are the revolutionary theories, trustworthy figures, and beneficial ideas that allow us to survive, even thrive. This timely, well, timeless poem reminds us that those simple cliché proverbs are often born of millennia of experience from millions of people. Don't judge a book by its cover. All that glitters is not gold. Value, youthful counsel. All these statements are as true now as they were when they were first written down. Of course, not everything that has been written down through the ages is worth its weight in gold. Indeed, we're still saddled with some fallacious ideas, concepts, and customs that come from way before any of us here are even born. But the true measure of whether something is truth or folly is by the simple copybook heading. By their fruits you shall know them. So remember, early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, and God bless.